President Muhammadu Buhari Tuesday in Abuja expressed concern on the growing complaints and agitations by workers in states over unpaid salaries and allowances in spite of interventions by the federal government. Receiving a group of governors led by the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, Abdulaziz Abubakar Yari, at the State House, President Buhari said the plight of workers in the state need urgent attention as many could barely survive. However, speaking to State House Correspondent after the meeting, Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari, who led the delegation, said they were in the villa to thank the President for his efforts so far and also plead with Mr. President to ensure that all the monies accrued to the different states are paid as at when due.
We are here on behalf of the 36 Nigerian governors, and this is as a result of a collective decision that we should see President after the National Economic Council meeting of last month. And what we are here, the mission is simple. That one, we come to thank Mr. President for his concern about the state economy and the state situation by giving us several supports, ranging from bailout, restructuring our debt, London Paris Club exit payment, and at the same time, as a father, we confront him that, Mr. President, you remember in 2016, we present you the numbers of London and Paris Club exit, which we agree that you directed to pay the 50% and 50% upon reconciliation. Mr. President, reconciliation is on since 2016, and we are hoping both DMO, Minister of Finance and AGF and our consultants are concluding this reconciliation by November. So therefore, we want to come and grab your indulgence so that we can factor the numbers in our 2018 budget so that we can use those simple projects, we can use it for other recurrent spending according to specification given by our respective House Assemblies.
Those that attended the meeting include governors of Ondo State, Bauchi, Kebbi, Kwara, Akwa Ibom, and the Deputy Governor of Ebonyi State. From the ASO Presidential Villa, Abuja, I am Festus Ejiroge Nefifen for Ben Television.
The Nigerian Senate has called on the federal and state government to declare October 17 of every year as World Poverty Day in line with United Nations resolution. The Senate made the resolution after deliberation on a motion commemorating United Nations International Day for Eradication of Poverty, sponsored by Senator Ali Wakili Bauchi and co-sponsored by Senator Magnus Abbey and 17 other senators. While moving the motion, Senator Wakili said poverty level in the country is at alarming rate.
This year, 2017, marks the 25th anniversary of the declaration by the General Assembly of the United Nations in its resolution 47-196 of 22nd December 1992 of the 17th October as the International Day for Eradication of Poverty. Note also that this year also marks the 30th anniversary of the call to action by Father Joseph Resenki, which inspired the observation of October 17th as the World Day for Overcoming of Extreme Poverty and the recognition by the United Nations of the day as the International Day for Eradication of Poverty. Joseph Resenki's personal experience as a child living in poverty and his daily struggle with his family to overcome shame and social exclusion, and his lifetime commitment to make hard families living in poverty worldwide. Aware that the theme for the 2017 commemoration is answering the call of October 17th to end poverty, a path towards peaceful and inclusive societies, and that the same reminds us of the importance of the values of dignity, solidarity, and voice underscored in the call to action to fight to end poverty everywhere. Further aware that the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty and its antecedents, the World Day for Overcoming Extreme Poverty, are intended to promote dialogue and understanding between people living in poverty and their communities and society.
The Senate, as part of the resolution, appealed to the community-based organization and media to step up awareness on the scourge of poverty and displacement of human dignity.
Though it is said that Nigeria, about 67% of Nigerians are below the poverty line, I believe that those figures are not very correct. I believe that about 70 to 80% of Nigerians are below the poverty line. Solving the problem of poverty in Nigeria is one of the greatest challenges before the leadership of this country. Mr. President, United Nations has set aside today as Day for Poverty Eradication. This is very significant because, Mr. President, what is poverty? Poverty is just not getting the minimum requirements for sustenance. Clean water, shelter, food. These are the basic things that is required to come out of poverty.
Deputy Senate President Ike Kremadu, who presided over the plenary, asked the government to make deliberate effort in reducing poverty to the barest minimum.
Eradication of poverty is a tall order. I think what countries aim at is to reduce poverty or to alleviate poverty, because the Bible is clear that the poor will always be with us. So what is important, I think, is to ensure that we alleviate poverty, we reduce poverty, and most countries have aspired to take most of their citizens out of poverty. But I'm not aware of any country that have sufficiently eradicated poverty, and it's not likely to going to happen. So as a responsible country, we must focus on ensuring that we reduce poverty in our country, we alleviate the implications of poverty to our citizens through massive compulsory free education, ensuring that there's a social safety nets for the poor, the unemployed, the aged, and the sick. We must also ensure that we redistribute income through taxation, ensuring that the rich will pay more and then the poor will pay less. In that way, we try as much as possible to redistribute income. So, and I believe that if we also focus on massive industrialization, we'll be able to provide jobs for a lot of people, and that too will also help to reduce poverty.
In another development, Senate has summoned the Minister of Solid Mineral Development, Kayode Fayomi, to appear before it over the neglect of community and victims affected by lead poison in Zamfara State. Senator Oluremi Tinubu, in a motion, told the Senate that lead poison has wreaked havoc in 38 communities in Zamfara State.
Recalls that in 2014, 38 villages, including Anka, Abare, Bagega, Bukuyum, Dareta, Duza, Maru, Sunke, Tonga Daji, Tonga Guru, and Yagalma, etc., were reported to have been affected by the effects of artisanal mining, unwholesome mining practices, and the resulting processing of gold, with varying effects ranging from blindness, infertility, neurological defects, etc. Over 400 children casualties were recorded, with many others needing treatment.
Meanwhile, the Senate has also directed its Committee on Environment to visit affected community and ascertain level of damages. From Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.
Benue State Governor Samuel Otom has called for the immediate arrest of the leadership of Miyetti Allah in the state over what he refers to as inciting statements and threats issued by the group against the plans of the state government to implement the anti-open grazing law in Benue State. Samuel Otom, who made this call while briefing State House correspondent after a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the Aso Presidential Villa, Abuja, said, over the years, some set of people have taken the laws into their hands, having this notion that they are above the law.
I'm a law-abiding citizen and governor. Benue people are law-abiding. That is why in the midst of the provocation from herdsmen attack, we took time to ensure that we put a law in place, sign it, and we are going to start implementation 1st of November. We hope that people will comply. And everyone in Benue State should appreciate the fact that all of us, it is the law that is giving us protection. It is the intention of this government to ensure that we give protection to lives and property through the rule of law. And so anyone staying in Benue State must comply. One thing that I must say is that the law protects herdsmen and farmers. Herdsmen, we are against cattle rustling. Those who are caught will be penalized. And those who want to stay in Benue State and do cattle business must ranch their cattle. This is what we're saying. And as far as we're concerned, the bill is not, or the law is not targeted at any individual or group of people or any ethnic group. It is meant to protect everyone who is living in Benue State. Mayati Allah have taken us to court. We're there with them. But I don't see how they will come and overrun Benue and make it ungovernable. It is not going to be accepted. We stand with what we have done. We have done our legitimate, lawful role as governor, as citizens of the state. So we don't see how somebody will sit somewhere and say that we should not implement a law that has restored peace in our place. If you want to bring confusion, I want to assure you that the security men, I have directed them, they should arrest those people. I am calling for the arrest of the leadership of Mayati Allah to be prosecuted, to serve as a deterrent. We have, for a long time, celebrated impunity in this country. We cannot continue like that. And so if they come out with this kind of threat, the evidence are there. They did a world press conference. So what is the security agencies doing? These people must be penalized.
The Benue State governor, while addressing the inabilities of the state to meet up its obligation as it has to do with salaries of its workers, attributed the difficulty to bogus wage bill of the state, which surpasses the allocation from the federation account and internally generated revenue.
My major challenge of payment of salaries, and it is not deliberate, and we have not diverted money, whether bailout or Paris Club, anywhere. The records are there for anyone to scrutinize and see. The situation is that I inherited 69 billion arrears of pensions, gratuity, and salaries. Then over 70 billion contractual obligations. And so it has been a huge burden on our finances. The issue is we must admit that Benue State wage bill is one of the highest in this country, 7.8. My predecessor admitted that there was a mistake in negotiating with them, but they resisted attempts to bring it down. Now we have no choice. We have said it, especially when the leadership of the Labour Congress came, and we dialogue, and we have set up technical committees comprising of Labour Congress technical people and my technical team. They will look at it, review the wage bill, and ensure that leakages are eliminated, salary padding and ghost workers and all that. And I want to assure you that I'm going to prosecute anyone who is found culpable in the salary inflation. But honestly, 7.8 billion naira wage bill for Benue State is out of place. There is no way we will continue in this manner. I and my council have looked at the whole thing. We have looked at the average of what people are collecting elsewhere in the country, and we have come to an average of 4.5 billion naira that we just have to review to that. Because an average income for Benue State, both Federation account and IGR, stands at slightly above 6 billion naira. So if you're paying salaries alone, you're having a deficit of over 1.8 billion naira a month. It is impossible, and there are security issues to tackle. There are several other things that government must run, and so it becomes a big problem. I don't have problems with my workers because they understood it. We are transparent. Everybody have seen what we've been doing, but we have to find a way around it.
Governor Samuel Otom, who gave a brief insight into the purpose of his visit to the president, also used the medium to endorse President Muhammadu Buhari for another term of 4 years, come 2019.
Yes. Also says the opportunity to brief him about my security situation in the state, about the threat by Mayati Allah and even taking us to court, and the threat that they will make the anti-open grazing bill impossible for the people of Benue State. I intimated him, and also generally the security situation in the state. Criminality, we have brought it to its barest minimum, and we believe that the security agencies that are working with us will sustain the tempo and will do everything to provide security for lives and property. We'll also brief him about the ecological problems we have in Benue State, and also to appreciate him and encourage him to be steadfast and be committed to his leadership. I believe that what God brought him to achieve in this country, he will definitely achieve it. Now we see him bouncing every day to the glory of God. We appreciate this, and we look forward that God will help him to take us through this 2015 to 2019, and then to 2019 to 2023. Well, that is our prayers, because for now, there is no credible candidate, as far as I know, that has the capacity to take Nigeria out of where we are today. I believe that Mr. President has the capacity. Let God sustain his health and make him stronger and heal him, consummate the healing so that Nigeria can be on the right path.
The governor therefore assured the people of the state that he is committed to bringing dividends of democracy to the grassroots. From Abuja, I am Festus Ejirogenefife for Ben Television.
Lovely place, right?
Yes.
What's wrong? You don't look happy.
Take a look around. Why can't my hotel be like this?
I knew something was wrong, but I've got solution.
Solution? What?
Nanette.
Nanette?
Nanette offers you design solutions, building plans and construction, furnishing and equipping, financing, management, audit services, and many more services for a better hospitality business. Nanette, service with a smile.
Nigeria's inflation further declined by 15.98% year-on-year in September 2017 from 16.1% in August. According to the Consumer Price Index report released by the National Bureau of Statistics, this is 0.03 percentage points lower than the rate recorded in August, making it the 8th consecutive decline in the rate of headline year-on-year inflation since January 2017. On month-on-month basis, the headline index increased by 0.78% in September, 0.19 percentage points lower from the rate of 0.97% recorded in August. Food price pressure, however, continued into September as increases in prices of potatoes, yams, and other tubers, milk, cheese, and eggs, bread and cereals, coffee, tea and cocoa, fish, meat and oil fats continue to drive prices in the index.
Founder and leader of Christ Mission, Professor Victor Hezekiah, has advised federal government to address issues that hinder economic and social development of the country. Professor Hezekiah gave the advice at a ceremony to mark his 50 years in God's service in Abuja. The pastor, while calling on government to, as a matter of urgency, address rising unemployment, poor health care facility, especially in government hospitals, and issues bordering corruption, which has given the country negative publicity in the world, said there is need for the government to consider the use of dialogue and peaceful process in the settlement of disputes.
We must give my support to ensure that Nigeria is united. Any person who is agitating for war is not a patriotic. What we need is peace.
He also used the occasion to advise the church.
Why have I not talked about too much of sowing seed in my church? Churches have deviated. They are after money and no longer. We must be after soul, after money. We should not give false testimonies, deceive the congregation. But we are not. We must prove to people that God has not changed. He's still the same yesterday, today, and forever.
The ceremony, which was graced with members of the political class, traditional rulers, clergy, and others, were entertained by a music dance group called Mbokiti and special rendition by Grace Garden Choir. In Abuja, LM Chugwemeka reports.